To see God Vishnu here, you must look through 3 doors: head, navel and feet, each seen through a different door. But what is the reason behind this most unique darshan? Watch this incredible story till the end. It will surely give you goosebumps. Inside the Padmanabha Swami temple lies an 18-foot murti. It is not carved from stone. It is not cast in bronze. It is made from 12,008 sacred stones called Shaligramas. These stones were brought from the Gandaki river in Nepal. They are bound together with a secret herbal compound called Katu Sarkara Yogam. This compound is so sacred that it can never touch water. No Abhishekam is ever performed directly on this murti. The murti is so large, so impossibly vast that devotees must climb onto a single massive stone platform just to see him. This platform is called the Uttakal Mandapam. It is carved from one single piece of rock. But even from here, they cannot see the complete form. Through the first door, you see God Vishnu's face. His right hand rests protectively over a Shivalinga below. Through the second door, you see his navel. A lotus rises from it. God Brahma sits on the top of the lotus. On either side stand Goddess Sri Devi and Goddess Bhudevi. Golden Abhisheka Murtis are also placed here. They are used for rituals since the main Murti can never be touched by water. Through the third door, you see his lotus feet. For over 1,000 years, this 3-door darshan has remained unchanged. 3 doors to see the 3 parts of one God. But why is it this way? The answer lies in a lake temple centuries ago in the northern reaches of Kerala. At the Anantapura Lake Temple in Kasargod, a rishi named Vilvamangalam Swamiyar had dedicated his life to one goal. He wanted to see God Vishnu with his own eyes. Day after day, he sat in deep tapas on the banks of the sacred lake. One day, a boy appeared. He was beautiful, charming, and playful. The boy asked to stay with the rishi, but he had one condition. You can never speak harshly to me. The moment you do, I will leave. Vilvamangalam agreed. Days turned into weeks. The boy played pranks and mischief. He constantly tested the rishi's patience. He would disturb the rishi's puja. He would interrupt his meditation. He created chaos. Vilvamangalam tolerated it all. He had given his word. But one day, the boy went too far. He took the rishi's most sacred possession. It was a Shaligrama stone, the very form of God Vishnu that Vilvamangalam worshipped daily. The boy put it in his mouth. Vilvamangalam snapped. He shouted at the boy. He scolded him harshly, and in that instant the boy began to fade. Before disappearing, the child revealed his true form. He said, "You wanted to see God Vishnu. I was with you all along. But now, if you wish to find me again, travel south and look for me in Anantankadu." And then he was gone. The rishi's heart shattered. The god he had spent his entire life seeking through tapas had been living with him. He had been eating with him. He had been playing with him. And in one moment of anger, he had lost everything. Vilvamangalam Swamiyar left Anantapura and began walking south. For days and weeks, he wandered through forest and villages. He cried out the Lord's name. He repented for his harsh words. He searched for a place called as Anantankadu. Then one day, near the southern coast, he heard a woman threatening her crying child. She said, "Stop or I'll throw you into Anantankadu." The name the boy had spoken. The rishi begged the woman, a Pulya tribal woman, to show him the way. She agreed. She saw the rishi weak and hungry from his long journey. She shared her own simple meal with him. It was congee, a simple rice porridge, and salted mango in a coconut shell. It was all she had, but she gave it without any hesitation. Then she led him deep into the coastal forest, and there he saw the boy again. The boy was standing beside a massive ilupa tree. The boy looked at Vilvamangalam one last time. He smiled, and then he merged into the tree, and then the tree fell. And where the tree fell, God Vishnu appeared. But he did not appear as a statue. He did not appear as an idol. He appeared as an impossibly vast form, reclining across the land. His head was at Tiruvattar. His body was right here where they stood. His feet were at Tripadapuram. The form stretched 8 miles across the land. Vilvamangalam could not see him whole. He was too vast. He could only see it in parts: head, navel, and feet. The rishi fell to his knees. He begged, "My lord, please shrink, become something I can worship." God Vishnu agreed. He condensed himself to 3 times the length of the rishi's staff. But even then, Ilupa trees blocked the view. The god could still only be seen in 3 parts. Vilvamangalam had nothing to offer. No gold, no jewels, no royal feast. Then he remembered the meal the Pulaya woman had shared with him, the same congee and salted mango. It was still in the coconut shell. With trembling hands, he offered it to God Vishnu, and God Vishnu accepted. A temple was built on that very spot. The coastal forest of Anantankadu became the sacred city of Tiruvananthapuram. It was named after the endless serpent on which God Vishnu reclines. To this day, the same simple prasadam is still offered at the Padmanabha Swami temple, congee and salted mango. It is offered in memory of that first offering from a rishi who had nothing but devotion. Near the temple, the Samadhi of Vilvamangalam Swamiyar still stands. The Anantankadu Nagaraja shrine is also there. It is dedicated to the serpent deity who witnessed that divine moment. It remains a place of worship to this day. And far to the north, the Anantapura Lake Temple, Kasargod, is still revered as a Moolasthanam. It is the original seat where the Rishi first met the Divine Child. This was before he followed the Divine Child south to his final resting place. This is why the 3 doors exist. They preserve the exact way Vilvamangalam saw God Vishnu in Anantankadu. Head, navel, feet, separated by trees, then separated by doors now. But there's more. The form that God Vishnu chose is called Anantashayana. It means Yoga Nidra, the divine sleep. He reclines on the serpent Ananta. This is a moment between the end of one universe and the birth of the next. God Vishnu lies on the endless serpent over Ksheerasagara, time without end, space without boundary. From his navel rises a lotus. On the lotus sits God Brahma. He is ready to create the next universe. Beneath his right hand rests a Shivalinga. Destruction and transformation are held under the god's protection. Shrishti Sthiti Samhara, creation, preservation and destruction, all 3 in one reclining form. The city itself is named after this moment, Tiruvananthapuram, the sacred city of Ananta, the endless one. And the 3 doors, they are not just architectural choices, they represent Shrishti, Sthiti and Samhara, the cycle of creation and destruction, the entirety of existence split into head, navel and feet. In 1750, a king named Marthandavarma understood this divine truth. He did something no king had ever done. He performed a ritual called Tripadi Danam. It means the donation of everything at the Lord's 3 feet. These feet are visible through the 3rd door. He walked into the temple. He removed his crown. He placed his sword before the 3 doors. He declared, "I am no longer king. Padmanabha Swami is a ruler of this land. I am merely his servant." From that day, he took a new name, Padmanabha Dasa, servant of Padmanabha. Every ruler of Travancore after him has carried this title. Even today, legally, Padmanabha Swami owns the kingdom. The Maharaja is only a custodian. He manages the Lord's property on his behalf. Only the Maharaja can perform Sashtanga Namaskara on the Otakal Mandapam before the 3 doors. No other devotee is permitted to do so, because only he has already surrendered everything. His crown, His kingdom, His very identity. When you stand before Padmanabha Swami and look through those three doors, you are not just seeing a murti, you are seeing what Bilvamangalam saw centuries ago. You are seeing the moment between universes. You are seeing head, navel and feet. Because some things are too vast, too infinite to ever be seen completely. This is Padmanabha Swami, and the darshan here through the three doors is a once in a lifetime experience. Do not miss it. Ananta Padmanabha Rakshamam.